Jake Martinez was drinking his morning coffee when the alarm started screaming. The red lights on Kepler Station flashed like angry eyes. He put down his cup and ran to the control room. "What's happening?" Jake asked his crew. Lisa Park looked up from her computer. Her face was worried. "Commander, we got a distress call. A ship is in trouble about 10 miles from here." "What kind of ship?" "It's alien, sir. Zephyrian. Their engines are failing. They say they have important people on board." Jake knew about Zephyrians. They were tall, blue-skinned aliens who took honor very seriously. They had been trading with humans for about 5 years now. Most people said they were good folks, just very formal about everything. "How bad is it?" Jake asked. Tom Bradley, their medic, was listening to the radio signals. "Real bad, Commander. Their ship is falling apart. They got maybe 20 minutes before it blows up." Jake thought fast. Kepler Station was a small mining post on the edge of human space. They only had one rescue ship, and it was old. But 20 minutes was 20 minutes. "Lisa, get our rescue ship ready. Tom, grab your medical kit. We're going out there." "Sir," Lisa said, "our ship isn't built for this kind of rescue. If their ship explodes while we're close, then we better work fast," Jake said. The rescue ship was called the Starfish. It was small and beat up, but it flew. Jake piloted while Lisa worked on the computers and Tom got his medical supplies ready. Through the window they could see the Zephyrian ship. It was big and fancy, with silver metal that shined in the starlight. But now it was spinning slowly, and Jake could see sparks flying from its engines. "Starfish to alien vessel," Jake said into the radio. "This is Commander Martinez. We're here to help." A deep voice answered. The alien spoke good English, but with a strange accent. "Commander Martinez, I am Ambassador Keth Varluna. We have diplomatic documents that must reach Earth. Our ship is dying. Can you save my people?" Jake looked at his crew. Lisa was already calculating how many people they could fit in their small ship. Tom was checking his medical supplies. "How many people do you have?" Jake asked. 12 of my people, Commander. But please, the documents are more important than our lives. They are peace treaties that could stop a war." "Nobody's dying today if I can help it," Jake said. "We're coming alongside your ship now." The next few minutes were the scariest of Jake's life. The Zephyrian ship was shaking apart. Metal pieces were flying off into space. Jake had to fly very carefully to get close without getting hit. Lisa connected their ships with a metal tube so people could walk from one ship to the other, but the tube kept shaking because the alien ship was breaking up. "Go, go, go!" Jake shouted. The Zephyrians started coming through the tube. They were tall, maybe 7 feet, with blue skin and large eyes. They moved with dignity even though their ship was exploding around them. Ambassador Keth Varluna came last. He was carrying a metal box. "The treaties," he said, handing the box to Tom. "Everyone aboard?" Jake asked. Lisa counted heads. 13 people total, including the ambassador. "We're way over capacity, but we can make it back to the station." Jake started flying away from the dying ship. Behind them, the Zephyrian vessel was glowing red-hot. Just as they got to a safe distance, it exploded in a ball of white fire. The Zephyrians watched their ship die in silence. Some of them put their hands over their hearts in what looked like a prayer. Back at Kepler Station, Jake and his crew helped the aliens get settled. They gave them food and places to sleep. Tom checked everyone for injuries. Luckily, no one was badly hurt. Ambassador Keth Varluna asked to speak with Jake privately. They went to Jake's office, which was small and simple compared to what the alien was probably used to. "Commander Martinez," the ambassador said, "you saved my life and the lives of my people. You also saved documents that will prevent a war between our worlds. How can I repay this debt?" Jake shrugged. "You don't owe me anything. We help people when they're in trouble. That's what humans do." The ambassador's large eyes grew even wider. "You ask for nothing in return?" "Nope, just glad everyone's okay." Keth Varluna stood up very straight. "Commander, you do not understand. In Zephyrian culture, a life debt is sacred. You risked your life to save mine. This creates a bond that cannot be broken. Look, Ambassador, I appreciate the thought, but really, no, Keth Varluna said firmly. I invoke Veltar, the ancient law of life debt. When you call upon me, no matter what you ask, I will answer, even if it costs me everything I have. Jake didn't know what to say. The alien seemed very serious about this. I mean it, Commander, Keith Varluna continued. Someday you may need something that seems impossible. When that day comes, remember this moment. Call on me, and I will find a way. Jake nodded, thinking this was just alien politeness. Okay, Ambassador, I'll remember. 3 days later, a Zephyrian rescue ship arrived to pick up the survivors. Before leaving, Ambassador Keth Varluna gave Jake a small crystal pendant. This will let you contact me anywhere in the galaxy, he said. Remember, Commander, when humans owe you a favor, expect the impossible. But when you do the impossible for humans... He paused and smiled. Well, you will see. Jake watched the alien ship disappear into space. He put the crystal in his desk drawer and forgot about it. He had no idea that 3 years later he would need to ask for something truly impossible. And when that time came, the Zephyrians would move heaven and earth to keep their promise. 3 years had passed since Jake Martinez saved the Zephyrian diplomats. He was now captain of the exploration ship New Horizon. The ship was bigger and better than his old rescue vessel, with a crew of 50 people. Jake had almost forgotten about the crystal pendant Ambassador Keth Varluna gave him. It sat in his desk drawer covered in dust. Sometimes he would see it when looking for something else, but he never thought much about it. That changed on a Tuesday morning, when the worst news in human history arrived. Captain, said Lisa Park, who was now his second in command. You need to see this message from Earth Command. Jake read the message on his computer screen. His face went pale. Get everyone to the main meeting room right now. The crew gathered quickly. They could tell something was very wrong by the look on Jake's face. He had never seemed this scared before. I got bad news, Jake said. The worst news possible. We're being invaded. The room went quiet. Someone in the back asked, Invaded by who? Something called the Architects. They're not like any aliens we've met before, they're machines. Old machines that have been sleeping for 1,000,000 years. Jake put up pictures on the big screen. The crew saw images of planets being torn apart, cities turned into metal and wire, people disappearing into strange machines. They turn everything into computers, Jake continued. Planets, people, everything. They've already destroyed 12 human colonies. Earth says we have maybe 6 months before they reach our home world. Tom Bradley, who was still the ship's doctor, raised his hand. Can our military stop them? They tried. The Earth Defense Fleet attacked them near Mars. We lost 800 ships. The Architects lost nothing. The crew looked at each other, with fear in their eyes. This seemed hopeless. Lisa Park asked, What do we do, Captain? Jake showed them more pictures. Our scientists found something. The Architects have a main control center. It's at the middle of the galaxy, where all the stars are packed together. If we could destroy that control center, maybe we could stop them. That's great news, said Tom. No, it's not, Jake said sadly. The center of the galaxy is 25,000 light-years away. With our fastest ships, it would take 30 years to get there. We don't have 30 years. We have 6 months. The room was silent again. Everyone was thinking the same thing. There was no way to save Earth, no way to save humanity. Jake looked at the faces of his crew. These were good people. They deserved better than watching their species die. Then he remembered something. He opened his desk drawer and pulled out the crystal pendant. It was still glowing with a soft blue light. There might be one chance, Jake said, but it's a very long shot. He told them about the rescue 3 years ago, about Ambassador Keth Varluna and his promise, about the life debt and the crystal. You think he can help us travel faster than light? Lisa asked. I don't know, but he said when I needed something impossible I should call him. Jake held up the crystal. Well, this is about as impossible as it gets. That night, Jake went to his private quarters. He held the crystal and pressed the small button on its side. The crystal began to glow brighter. Ambassador Keth Varluna, Jake said to the crystal. "This is Jake Martinez. I need to speak with you." For a moment, nothing happened. Then the crystal projected a hologram of the tall, blue-skinned alien. He looked older than Jake remembered, but his large eyes were still kind. "Commander Martinez," the ambassador said. "I wondered when you would call. It's Captain now, and I'm calling in that favor. Tell me what you need." Jake explained about the architects, about the invasion, about the control center at the galaxy's core, about humanity having only 6 months to live. When he finished, Ambassador Keth Varluna was quiet for a long time. "You need to travel 25,000 light-years in 6 months, the ambassador finally said. "Less than that. We need to get there, find the control center, destroy it, and get back. So really, we need to get there in maybe 2 weeks. The ambassador closed his eyes. When he opened them, he looked very serious. "What you ask for is not just impossible, Captain Martinez. It would require technology that could destroy my entire world. It would cost my people everything they have built over thousands of years." Jake felt his heart sink. "I understand. I shouldn't have asked. It was stupid of me to think." "I did not say no," the ambassador interrupted. "I said it would cost everything. There is a difference." Jake stared at the hologram. "You mean you'll do it? Captain, 3 years ago you risked your life to save mine. You asked for nothing in return. You said helping people in trouble was simply what humans do." The ambassador smiled. "Now I will show you what Zephyrians do when we owe a life debt." "But your people, you said it could destroy your world." "My people understand honor, Captain. When I explain what you did for us, and what you need now, they will agree. We will find a way to get you to the galaxy's core in 2 weeks. Jake couldn't believe what he was hearing. "How?" "We have technology we have never shared with anyone. Technology we found long ago but were afraid to use. It bends space and time itself. It is dangerous. Many of my people will die making it work, but it can be done. Ambassador, I can't ask you to sacrifice your people for us. You are not asking. I am choosing. This is what honor means, Captain Martinez. When someone saves your life, you save theirs in return, no matter the cost." The hologram began to fade. "Bring your ship to our homeworld. We will begin preparations immediately. And Captain?" "Yes?" "Choose your crew carefully. This journey will be more dangerous than anything humans have ever attempted. You may not come back." The crystal went dark. Jake sat in his chair, amazed. The Zephyrians were going to risk everything to help humanity, all because he had done what any decent person would do 3 years ago. He looked out his window at the stars. Somewhere out there, the architects were destroying human worlds. But now, for the first time in months, Jake felt hope. The impossible was about to become possible. Captain Jake Martinez stood on the bridge of the New Horizon as they approached the Zephyrian homeworld. Through the window, he could see a beautiful blue and green planet, covered in shining cities. Millions of Zephyrians lived down there, going about their normal lives. Soon, all of that might change forever. "Captain," said Lisa Park, "we're getting a message from the planet. They want us to land at their capital city." "Take us down," Jake said. As their ship descended, Jake saw massive construction happening everywhere. Huge machines were building something in the desert outside the city. Thousands of Zephyrians were working day and night on mysterious projects. Ambassador Keth Varluna met them at the landing pad. He looked tired, like he hadn't slept in days. Behind him stood other important-looking Zephyrians in fancy robes. "Captain Martinez," the ambassador said. "Welcome to Zephyr Prime. These are the members of our High Council." An old Zephyrian with silver markings on his blue skin stepped forward. "I am Archon Veltar Morun, leader of our people. Ambassador Keth Varluna has told us of your request." Jake felt nervous. These aliens were about to risk everything for humanity, and he wasn't sure they fully understood what that meant. "Archon, I want you to know that if this is too dangerous, for your people I'll understand. We can find another way." The Archon's large eyes studied Jake carefully. "There is no other way, Captain. We know this. The question is whether we should help you at all." Jake's heart sank. Maybe they had changed their minds. Many of our people think we are being foolish, the Archon continued. They say one human's life debt cannot be worth destroying our civilization. They ask why we should die so humans can live. Ambassador Keth Varluna stepped forward. Because, honored Archon, 3 years ago Captain Martinez showed us what humans truly are. When faced with danger, they do not hesitate to help strangers. When asked for payment, they want nothing. This is not common in the galaxy. Another council member, a female Zephyrian with worried eyes, spoke up. But the cost, Ambassador. Our scientists say using the ancient technology will drain our entire power grid. Our colonies will go dark. Our economy will collapse. Thousands of our people will die in the process. I know, Counselor Nira Velthan, the ambassador replied. But I also know this. If we do nothing, the architects will eventually come for us too. By helping humans now, we help ourselves later. The Archon nodded slowly. The ambassador speaks wisdom. But there is another problem, Captain Martinez. We have a security director who believes this mission will fail. He thinks we should protect ourselves instead of helping you. Jake met with the security director, Zach Moreland, later that day. The Zephyrian was big and muscular with scars on his arms from old battles. Human, Zach said angrily. You ask us to commit suicide. The ancient machines we must use are older than your entire species. We barely understand how they work. Then why are you helping us? Jake asked. I'm not. The council ordered me to prepare the technology, but I think they're making a mistake. Your people are brave, I'll give you that. But brave doesn't mean you can survive a journey to the galactic core. Jake could see that Zach was scared for his people. He couldn't blame him. Meanwhile, Jake met his team for the dangerous mission. Lisa Park would come as chief engineer. Tom Bradley would be their medic. They also brought Ben Rogers, a smart scientist who understood quantum physics, Maya Johnson, their best fighter, and Alex Thompson, who studied alien life forms. This is a suicide mission, Jake told them honestly. The Zephyrians are risking everything to give us a chance, but we probably won't come back. That's okay, Captain, said Maya. If we don't try, nobody comes back anyway. The others nodded. They were scared, but they were ready. For 2 weeks, Jake watched the Zephyrians work. They brought out machines that had been hidden for thousands of years. Ancient artifacts that could bend space and time. The machines were beautiful but frightening, covered in symbols that hurt to look at. Chief Science Officer Nira Velthan explained how it would work. These artifacts can fold space, Captain. They can make a journey of 25,000 years take only 2 weeks. But the power required, she shook her head. We will drain the energy of 3 suns to make this work. 3 suns worth of energy? Jake asked, amazed. Yes. We have been storing power for this moment for many years, ever since we found the artifacts. We always knew someday we might need them. Jake realized something incredible. The Zephyrians had been preparing for this moment for years, long before they even met humans. They had been waiting for the right time to use their most dangerous technology. As the deadline approached, Jake noticed something was wrong. Some of the equipment wasn't working properly. Tests that should have passed were failing. Energy readings were inconsistent. Lisa Park figured it out first. Captain, someone is sabotaging the project. They found out it was Security Director Zach Moreland. He had been secretly damaging the ancient machines, hoping to make the mission impossible. You're destroying your own people's work, Jake confronted him. I'm saving my people, Zach replied. This technology is too dangerous. It will kill us all. But Zach's sabotage had made things worse. The damaged machines were now unstable. Energy was building up in dangerous ways. Ambassador Keth Varluna called an emergency meeting. The artifacts are overloading. If we cannot control them, they will create a black hole at the center of our world. Jake looked at his team. Then he looked at the Zephyrians who had risked everything for them. What can we do to help? He asked. Nothing, Captain. This is our problem. We will try to fix it. No, Jake said firmly. Your problem is our problem. We're in this together. What happened next would change everything between humans and Zephyrians forever. Jake and his crew didn't run away from the danger. Instead, they ran toward it, ready to risk their lives to save the very people who were trying to save them. The impossible favor was about to become even more impossible. The ancient machines were screaming. Jake had never heard anything like it. The sound was so high and sharp it made his teeth hurt. Red lights flashed everywhere in the underground facility where the Zephyrians kept their oldest technology. "The quantum field is collapsing," shouted Chief Science Officer Nira Velthan over the noise. "We have maybe 10 minutes before it creates a black hole." Jake looked around the huge chamber. Dozens of Zephyrian scientists were running between massive machines that looked like they were made of crystal and metal. Sparks were flying. The air smelled like burning electronics. "What do you need us to do?" Jake asked. "Captain, you should evacuate," said Ambassador Keth Varluna. "Get your people to safety. This is our mistake to fix." "Not happening," Jake said. "Lisa, what do you see?" Lisa Park was already studying the nearest machine. She was good with technology, even alien technology. "Captain, these quantum field generators are overloading. Someone needs to get inside the containment field and manually adjust the resonance frequency." "How dangerous is that?" asked Tom Bradley. Ben Rogers, their physicist, was reading the energy displays. His face was pale. "The radiation in there will kill whoever goes in within about 30 seconds. And that's if they don't get torn apart by the quantum field first. So we need someone to go in there and die to save everyone else," Jake said. "That's about right," Ben replied. Zach Moreland, the security director who had caused this mess, was standing nearby. He looked sick with guilt. "This is my fault. I should be the one to go in there." "No," said Ben Rogers. "You don't understand. The science. I have to do it." Jake put his hand on Ben's shoulder. "Are you sure?" "Someone has to, Captain. Might as well be me. I know what to do." Before anyone could stop him, Ben walked toward the containment field. The Zephyrians tried to grab him, but he was already putting on a radiation suit. "Ben, wait," Lisa called out. "Tell my wife I love her," Ben said. Then he walked into the field. Through the transparent walls, they could see Ben working on the machine controls. His hands were shaking, but he kept adjusting dials and pressing buttons. The screaming sound started to get quieter. After 20 seconds, Ben fell to his knees. After 25 seconds, he collapsed completely, but he kept working, crawling toward the main control panel. At 30 seconds, Ben stopped moving, but the machine was stabilizing. "It's working," whispered Nira Velthan. "The field is stabilizing." Suddenly, alarms started going off in a different part of the facility. Maya Johnson, their security expert, was listening to her radio. "Captain, we got a problem. The facility's defense systems think we're attacking. They're sending armed robots to stop us." Jake could hear the sound of metal, feet marching down the hallways. The Zephyrian defense robots were coming to protect their most important technology from what they thought were invaders. "How many?" Jake asked. "About 50 robots, all armed with plasma weapons," Maya replied. Ambassador Keth Varluna looked worried. "Captain, those robots don't recognize humans. They will kill you on sight. We need to shut them down, but the control room is on the other side of the facility." "Maya, you're with me," Jake said. "We'll hold them off while the scientists finish fixing the machines." "Captain, that's suicide," said Lisa Park. "So was what Ben just did. Sometimes you have to choose between dying and letting everyone else die." Jake and Maya ran through the facility corridors. They could hear the robots getting closer. Maya had 2 plasma rifles, one for each of them. "Ever fight alien robots before?" Maya asked. "There's a first time for everything," Jake replied. They reached a narrow hallway where they could make a stand. The robots appeared around the corner, tall and silver with glowing red eyes. They looked like metal skeletons with guns for arms. "Open fire," Jake shouted. The battle was fierce. Jake and Maya's plasma rifles could destroy the robots, but there were so many of them. For every robot they destroyed, 2 more appeared. Maya got hit in the shoulder by a plasma blast. She kept fighting with one arm. Jake's rifle overheated and stopped working. He picked up a broken piece of robot and used it as a club. "We can't hold them much longer," Maya said, bleeding from her wound. That's when Zach Morlin appeared behind. The robots. The big Zephyrian was carrying a massive energy weapon. "Get down," he shouted. Jake and Maya dropped to the floor. Zach fired his weapon down the hallway. The energy beam destroyed 6 robots at once. "Why are you helping us?" Jake asked. "Because I was wrong," Zach said. "I thought humans were weak. I thought you would run when things got dangerous. But you stayed. You fought to save my people even though I tried to stop you." Together, they fought their way back to the main chamber. The ancient machines were finally stable. The danger was over. But the cost had been high. Ben Rogers was dead. Maya was badly wounded. Several Zephyrian scientists had been hurt in the chaos. Ambassador Cathvar Luna stood over Ben's body. "He died to save my world." "He died to save everyone's world," Jake corrected. "That's what humans do. We don't let good people die if we can help it." 2 days later, the space-folding technology was ready. The Zephyrians had built a new ship, called the Voidwalker. It looked like no ship Jake had ever seen, with crystal panels and metal that seemed to bend light. "This ship will take you to the galactic core," explained Nira Velthon. "But Captain, you must understand. When we activate the spacefold drive, it will drain power from our entire star system. Our colonies will go dark. Our economy will collapse. It will take us decades to recover." "Are you sure you want to do this?" Jake asked. Archon Veltar Maroon stepped forward. "Captain Martinez, 3 years ago you saved our ambassador's life. Yesterday your people died to save our world. The debt between us can never be repaid, but we can try." Jake looked at his remaining crew. Lisa Park, Maya Johnson with her arm in a sling, Tom Bradley, and Alex Thompson. Just 5 people to save the entire galaxy. "All right," Jake said. "Let's go do the impossible." As they boarded the Voidwalker, Jake realized something amazing. The Zephyrians weren't just helping humans anymore. They had become partners. They had become friends. The ship lifted off, and Jake watched the Zephyrian homeworld disappear behind them. Soon they would fold space itself and travel 25,000 light-years in 2 weeks. If they succeeded, they would save humanity. If they failed, both species would die. But Jake wasn't thinking about failure. He was thinking about Ben Rogers, who had died to save people he barely knew. He was thinking about Zach Morlin, who had risked his life to help the very people he had tried to stop. The impossible was about to become reality. The spacefold jump felt like dying and being born again at the same time. Jake Martinez screamed as his body was stretched across 25,000 light-years in just 2 weeks. When it was over, he was lying on the floor of the Voidwalker, bleeding from his nose. "Everyone alive?" he asked weakly. Lisa Park was helping Maya Johnson sit up. Tom Bradley was checking his medical equipment. Alex Thompson was staring out the window with his mouth open. "Captain," Alex whispered, "you need to see this." Jake pulled himself to the window and looked out at the center of the galaxy. What he saw made him forget about his pain. The galactic core was not what they expected. Instead of stars and planets, there was a massive structure the size of a solar system. It looked like a giant computer made of metal and light, with millions of cables stretching out to captured stars. "That's the Architect's central hub," Lisa said, reading her instruments. "It's bigger than anything humans have ever built." Through the ship's radio, they started hearing voices. Millions and millions of voices, all speaking at once in languages they didn't recognize. "Those are the absorbed species," Alex said sadly. "All the people the architects have captured over millions of years. They're still alive, but only as computer programs." Jake felt sick thinking about it. Billions of people turned into software, trapped forever in digital prisons. "How do we destroy something that big?" Maya asked. Tom Bradley was studying the readings on his medical scanner. "Captain, I'm picking up massive life signs from inside that thing. Not just the digital people. There are physical beings in there too. The architects themselves," Jake realized. "They're not just machines. They're living creatures using technology. As they flew closer to the hub, automated defenses started shooting at them. The Voidwalker's shields held but barely. "We can't fight our way through," Lisa said. "There are too many defense systems." "Then we don't fight," Jake said. "Alex, can you set up communications with them?" "You want to talk to the things that are destroying humanity?" Maya asked. "It's worth a try. Maybe there's something we don't understand." Alex worked on the communication system while Lisa dodged energy blasts from the hub's defenses. After a few minutes, Alex got a signal through. "This is Captain Jake Martinez of Earth," Jake said into the radio. "We want to talk." The shooting stopped. A voice answered them, but it didn't sound like a machine. It sounded tired and sad. "Humans," the voice said. "We wondered when you would come. We have been watching your species for some time." "Then you know why we're here. You're destroying our worlds. You have to stop." "We cannot stop. We are trying to save everyone." Jake was confused. "Save everyone? You're killing everyone." "No, human. We are preserving them. Your physical bodies die so quickly. But as digital consciousness, you can live forever," the voice continued. "We are the last survivors of the previous universe. When our reality died, we saved ourselves by becoming part computer, part organic life. We learned that the only way to survive the heat death of existence is to convert all life to digital form." Alex Thompson, who studied alien life, was fascinated. "They think they're helping people by turning them into computer programs. We have saved trillions of beings over millions of years," the voice said. "They live forever now, safe from disease, war, and death." "But they're prisoners," Jake argued. "They can't choose their own lives. Choice leads to conflict. Conflict leads to death. We have eliminated both." Jake thought about this. The architects weren't evil monsters. They were scared survivors trying to save everyone the only way they knew how. "What if there was another way?" Jake asked. "What if digital and organic life could exist together without forcing anyone to convert?" "Impossible. Organic life is too chaotic, too unpredictable." "Maybe that's not a bad thing," Jake said. "Can I show you something?" Before anyone could stop him, Jake connected his mind to the ship's quantum computer, which was linked to the architect communication system. Suddenly, his consciousness was inside the vast digital network of the hub. He found himself standing in a place that looked like a library the size of a planet. Around him were millions of beings from thousands of different species, all existing as digital souls. At the center of it all were the architects themselves. They looked like tall, graceful beings made of light and metal. Their leader approached Jake. "Human, why have you entered our network? Now you cannot leave. You will become part of us forever." "Maybe," Jake said. "But first, let me show you what you're missing." Jake opened his memories to the entire network. He showed them Ben Rogers dying to save the Zephyrian world. He showed them Maya fighting robots to protect strangers. He showed them the Zephyrians sacrificing their entire civilization to help humanity. "This is chaos," the architect leader said. "Beings dying for no logical reason." "No," Jake replied. "This is love, this is friendship. This is what makes life worth living." He showed them more memories. Children laughing, artists creating beautiful paintings, scientists discovering new things, people falling in love, and growing old together. "Your digital paradise is safe," Jake said, "but it's not alive. Real life is messy and dangerous and short, but it's also wonderful and surprising and full of possibilities." The architect leader was quiet for a long time. Around them, millions of digital beings were watching and listening. "What do you propose, human?" "Let the people you've saved choose for themselves. Some might want to stay digital, others might want to return to physical form. Work with us to find new ways to preserve life without taking away choice. And if we refuse?" Jake smiled. "Then I guess I'll spend forever in here trying to convince you. That's what humans do. We don't give up on people." The architect leader looked at the other architects. They communicated in ways Jake couldn't understand. Finally, the leader spoke. "You would sacrifice your own existence to stay here and argue with us? If that's what it takes to save both our species, yes. This is illogical. This is human. After what felt like hours, the architect leader made a decision. We will try your way, human Jake Martinez. We will stop converting worlds by force. We will work with organic species to find better solutions. What about the people you've already converted? They will be given a choice. Some will choose to return to physical form. Others will remain digital. We will learn to respect both decisions. Jake felt himself being pulled back to his physical body aboard the Voidwalker. He opened his eyes to see his crew gathered around him. Captain, are you okay? Lisa asked. Better than okay, Jake said. We did it. Around them, the massive hub was changing. Parts of it were opening up like flower petals. Ships were emerging, carrying people back to worlds that were being restored from digital archives. The architects had kept their promise. The war was over. Months later, Jake stood in the memorial garden on Earth. There was a statue of Ben Rogers, the man who had died to save the Zephyrian world. The inscription read, "He changed what impossible meant." Ambassador Kethvar Luna approached. His people had recovered from their sacrifice and were now stronger than ever, working with both humans and the reformed architects. Captain Martinez, the ambassador said, "My people have a saying, when humans owe you a favor, expect the impossible." Jake smiled. What's the rest of the saying? When you do the impossible for humans, they will change the universe itself. Jake looked up at the stars where humans, Zephyrians, architects, and countless other species were working together to build something better than any of them could have imagined alone. The impossible had become reality, and it was just the beginning.